unlocking your world of creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator, Mark Stinson. This episode is brought to you by White Cloud Coffee Roasters, where every bean tells a story of adventure. Visit whitecloudcoffee.com and use the code CREATIVITY.
Welcome back, friends, to our podcast, Your World of Creativity. I'm Mark Stinson, and we love to travel around the globe talking to creatives of all types about how they get inspired and how they organize ideas, and most of all, how we gain the confidence and the connections to launch our work out into the world. And today I'm so glad to be traveling to Sydney, Australia to welcome Duncan Toombs to the show, one of country music's powerhouse vocalists and storytellers. Duncan, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Mark. Pleasure to be here, my friend.
I first heard Duncan. I had a chance to visit Sydney, Australia this past summer, and I saw him live at a great country bar called Jolene's. And we're both saying, what a coincidence. You never know who's going to be on stage. You never know who's going to be in the audience. I was really impressed with your music, Duncan, and the way you connected with the audience, and your original lyrics really touched on a lot of love, life, family. So I couldn't wait to look you up, and it's great to have you on the show now.
It's my absolute pleasure to be here. And you never know who's going to be in the crowd. Yeah, absolute pleasure. Thanks for asking me to be here.
Yeah, you bet. Listeners, I learned that Duncan, this was after I said, wow, what great music. And I look him up and I say, oh my gosh, he's been on The Voice in Australia on Channel 7. His powerful vocals, I went back and watched a lot of the YouTube episodes. And that original song, Steel on Steel, it really touched a lot of people, went viral, 3 million views, and TikTok, Instagram, all the things. It really touched a lot of people, didn't it, Duncan?
It did, yeah. Obviously, it's a very personal song to me. Getting to sing that live on national TV was pretty overwhelming experience. I would say I was extremely nervous, but it's a beautiful thing. And that's what I think I've grown to love songwriting later in my life, is when you write something that connects to people in that sort of way. I don't know. I think it's a beautiful thing where we all take songs our own way. Even now, as I'm talking about it, like I get emotional because it's a very personal song about losing my dad and seeing him in my mind's eye. I see him on the train. He's on his last ride to heaven.
Hear that engine roar, see the wheels take flight. They'll be smelling that steam in the heavens tonight. There's something about the sound of steel on steel. It's like a band of angels crying in the night, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah, singing hallelujah.
But yeah, so many people, like truck drivers, a lot of obviously train drivers reached out, but truck drivers or people who just travel a lot, I don't know, it just seemed to touch a lot of people. And reading different comments online, yeah, gets me emotional.
Yes. And I think many of us watch shows like that and go, oh, what a great instant success, instant recognition a guy like Duncan must enjoy. But this is years in the making. You've been behind the band many times. And tell us about that progression. I was reading you've played country music since you were a little kid, but tell us the kind of progression to being front of the microphone in the auditions for The Voice.
For me, I've always been the guy that hides in the back of photos, hides amongst teams. I love working in teams. I love the friendships out of them, but also I love taking on the risk together. I don't know, there's something about just working in teams I've always felt way more comfortable in. But yeah, my mum started me out buying me a guitar when I was 13, and I joined the Toowoomba Country Music Club, which is a little town in Queensland here in Australia. And it was just the best. It was the best way to grow up playing music. There's a lot of different festivals in and around southeast Queensland, And you'd go away for the weekend and enter these festivals, and you'd play for your mates because they didn't know how to play guitar. They just sang, or you'd enter as a band, or there'd be different sections, a gospel section, or just a instrumental section, or a band section, or a duo section. And the whole weekend would just be music. And so many strong friendships were made back then, where the sort of friendships when you catch, every time you catch up, it feels like it's like you were just together yesterday. And to me, that's the best thing about music, is just all the friendships you can create through it, and sharing music on stage with those kind of people is just the best drug in the world, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I left Toowoomba in my late teens and moved down to Sydney and started playing guitar for a lot of country acts that toured Australia over here in Australia. I'll just mention, if you want to name drop or whatever, but just a few names if anyone's heard of him. This podcast goes around the world. But when I moved down, I started playing with Becky Cole, Adam Harvey, Adam Brown. I was on the road with Adam for about 6 years playing guitar. And then artists like Troy Casadale, Lee Kernaghan, Gina Jeffries, Sarah Storer. Yeah, I was just a gun for hire. So I spent a lot of time playing guitar for artists, touring around Australia, and did a little touring around the world. Got to go play for the forces, US and Australian forces over in the Sinai as well, and different places around the world. But yeah, I've done that all my life. I played guitar for other people. And after all these years, like I'm nearly 50, I'm 48 now. But after all these years of doing things for other people, in the last couple of years, I just started songwriting myself. I guess I don't know, I've just got I've just had stuff of my own that I wanted to share. And I brought out my first album in 2023, and it's changed my life. I don't know, not trying to get too deep too quickly, but I don't know, there's something about doing something for yourself which it builds confidence, it builds belief, and it just opens a whole new world when you start actually showing yourself some love and giving yourself some time and some grace to do something.
Well, I know all the
pretty powerful
creatives
about it.
For sure. I know all the creatives can relate to that. And I think about your storytelling in song, translating these very personal experiences into the stories that really resonate. You think it's only happened to you, and yet they universally have happened to all of us somehow.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the connection, isn't it? Did you find that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I totally agree. There's some songs you can take totally a different way than the songwriter ever wrote that for, and we all do it. We all draw from our own personal experiences. And I think that's the way it's from the dawn of time. Stories have been shared through sitting down and talk with someone, or through song, and that's where things are learnt. That's where I always call it cheap therapy, songwriting.
Yes, there you go. I love that.
Cheap therapy.
In your eyes, I see a distant star, so far. It holds a light that I've fallen for. So hard, with you in my arms, we won't need the sun. Just take my hand, 'cause they won't know we've gone till we're long gone. Run with me, baby, just run away. Run with me, baby, through the Milky Way. Come on, run, baby.
And you are very humble when you say, I just played in the band, and then you progressed to writing your own songs. But all these experiences led to 9 Golden Guitar Awards and Hands of Fame induction. You were making an impact long before you were the cover of the album. And I was thinking about asking you about really the creative collaboration and the process of pulling together your own album, what you might have learned from the experiences being in the band when you said it's time to put my own songs out.
Yeah, on a production standpoint, I knew how the process worked because I've done so many guitar sessions over the years. The funny thing is, actually, it wasn't until I made my album that I had a moment where it's like a light bulb moment. In all the years I've played guitar for other people and played on their session, there's always been a point. There's always a point when an artist, a songwriter, is in the session when they're making their album, and you'll be watching them like a fly on the wall between takes, and they're in the vocal room, and everyone can hear each other, and you're talking. But there's always a point where an artist will go, they sort of have a little bit of an overwhelming moment. They go, oh, I can't believe all these songs are coming to life. Everyone, it's just like these things that I wrote, and everyone's just bringing life into them. And there's a bit of an overwhelming moment for them there. And over the years, I suppose I thought, oh, that's nice. We're all here having fun. This is good fun. But it wasn't until I made my own album to actually experience that. When you sit down and write songs from nothing, or not from nothing, from a feeling or something you and feel. When you're in a studio with a bunch of friends, watching them grab that energy from the song and put it through their own heart and then breathe music out. It's an overwhelming thing watching your songs come to life. It's a beautiful thing. I'm hooked on it now. I love it.
Yeah, there you go. It is intoxicating.
Totally.
Yes. I couldn't help but notice, and those listeners who might be watching the video, to see that you're in a very studio setup now. And we were talking just before we came on the air about all the other creative pursuits that we creatives often do. So music isn't your only passion. You're also moving into some filmmaking. Tell us about that.
Yeah, a while ago now. So I'm in my studio. I'm currently setting up a little hire studio for people to come in and make their own content. So I've got a few cameras hanging on the walls and a few different things around the place. But before I mentioned I was playing Fat and Brown, I was on the road with him for about 5 or 6 years. And at that stage, I just started having a family. My wife and I had our first boy, Jack, who's now 20. But back then, I was away a lot on the road for Jack's first year of his life. And the most important thing for me has always been the most important thing for me in this life is to be the best dad I can be. I think it's the greatest job. My boys are the best thing I'll ever do in this life. But I missed a lot of Jack's first year, and I didn't like it, even though it was my job. I had to bring money in, the hunter and the gatherer. But I was yearning for something I could have to make money that I could actually control. Like,
as you learn and grow, son, I just want you to know, son, this world's full of chance and choices. Go make it on your own. There's bound to be some rocky roads and lonely nights out in the cold that will make the man in you that I already see. As time plays on, I will sing your song. Each and every day, I'll light up your way. Clear the road when you can't see ahead. No matter what life brings, I will always be there to play along with you.
when you're a guitarist for hire, a gun for hire, it's kind of, you'll have an artist saying, do you want to do this tour? And if you don't say yes, they'll get someone else, and you'll
We're
probably miss
always
out on
afraid their phone's not going to ring again.
it's knock-on effect. It's scary to say no. So I was yearning for something of my own that I could control my life a bit more and be around for my family more. And it just came out of nowhere. My wife had an old camcorder, an old Sony camcorder, and at that point, Amanda and I had a Dell computer, a really old computer, and I got some software on there called Premiere Pro, and I was just mucking around at the time. I'd sit up till God knows when, the early hours of the morning, just editing, just making something out of nothing, and I got hooked on it. I loved it, and from that, I started doing some videos for mates. I did my mate's wedding, and then before I knew it, we were using Jack's baby pram as a dolly. I had the camera inside it, and we were shooting a music video for a couple of friends of mine who now live in Nashville. And it got on the TV, and we just couldn't believe it. This is like crazy. So just through play, creatively playing and just enjoying myself. I unlocked this other passion that I didn't realize I had for, storytelling through cinematography and editing. And it's, you never know where life's going to take you is the relevant line for it, because I had no idea. I never had any plans to be a director, a cinematographer, but I started this little company called The Filmery and had a team of about 6 or 7 over the years, and have traveled the world filming for National Geographic and made, thousands of videos for artists all around Australia, even around the world. We've actually made we made a music video for the Village People, believe it or not.
Love
They
it.
tried to make a big comeback, and I'm not sure how well they came back, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. But just what an amazing journey the Filmery's been, and something I never expected. Yeah, we won a few awards back in the day. We actually hold the record for the Golden Guitars for the director for Music Video of the Year. We won it 7 years in a row for Music Video of the Year. And we got really busy, and
It's exciting.
it was a lot of fun. And I guess, and where I am now is COVID killed the team. It forced us we had to close up shop. A couple of James and Brock were the last ones here with me. They'd be qualified builders. But probably the universe saying I needed to slow down a little bit anyway, because it was crazy. It was very busy, even though it was sad to see the company wind down a bit. And now it's just me here. I think, I really needed to jump off that hamster wheel, because I'd burnt myself out, I think. But after all these years, I'm really happy where I am at the moment, because I've got one foot in film, paying the bills and still enjoying what I do. Got one foot solidly back into my music, because the filming took me away from the stage and traveling and playing with bands and playing with people. And I really missed it after a while. So it really has called me back and then some, because I never imagined I'd go from being at the back of the stage with the guitar in my hand to now the front of the stage singing my own songs. So you never know where life's going to take you.
I love that. I have a question about that. But first, I think this is a good time to let listeners know where to find you, website, social media and stuff. Where can we learn more about you and your work?
Yeah, sure. My name's Duncan Toombs. That's Toombs. I guess you'll put that on the screen anyway.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just duncantoombs.com is my website. The Filmery it's got a website too, The Filmery. But as I said, it's just me now. So I just do a little bit here and there, and trying to put most of my energy into my music these days. But that's where you can find me on the
Excellent.
socials.
Well, I'll put all that in the show notes for sure, as I said. I love this thought that you never know where life's going to take you, or who you're going to meet, or where you're going to connect with somebody.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but notice and think about, but you have to pursue it. Like, you never know. However, you have to take the turn. You have to go on the road. You can't say, oh, look what came up. Isn't that interesting? And you had a way of saying, hey, I've been offered this opportunity, but you then have to pursue it. And you have to put your heart and soul into it a bit and say, that's what I want to do. How has that worked out for you in terms of taking advantage of the opportunities that come your way?
You're dead right. You do have to walk down that road. I don't know. I'm the all or nothing kind of guy. If my heart's in it, I'm in it. I'm there. My heart is my engine. And if it's engaged in something, I'll show up every day and have a crack. I think it's a universal thing for everyone.
Yes.
If your heart's not in it.
Yeah. Great talking with you today, Duncan. It's been great learning more about you, your personal stories, the background. Thanks for being so open and honest about your experiences and how life affected your work. And I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad I decided to get up out of the hotel and go down to Jolene's that Saturday night.
Yeah, mate. That's so cool, man. Hopefully next time I see you, it'll be maybe it'll be a dive bar in Nashville.
Yeah, let's do that. Perfect.
That'd be great.
My guest has been Duncan Toombs. We've been talking about music, film, and life in general, and creative forces. And it's been great having Duncan on the show. I want to, before we go, thank our sponsor, White Cloud Coffee. They help fuel creative conversations like this on our podcast. And you can enjoy 10% off your first order at whitecloudcoffee.com. And of course, before you go, I want to offer you a free download of my ebook, Your World of Creativity. Just visit mark-stinson.com. And then come back for our next episode. We're going to continue these around the world travels. We're talking to creatives about inspiration and organization, and most of all, confidence and connections, like we talked about with Duncan today, to launch our work out into the world. So until next time, I'm Mark Stinson, and we're going to keep unlocking your world of creativity. Bye for now.